Out of interest lately, I've just been comparing different types of film that I can shoot with. I'm still a really huge beginner with film photography, and so I've only shot with a handful of things so far. And so the clerk at the store the other day recommended me to try out some Phoenix 200, which is made by the company Harman. And I don't know if you guys know what these people are doing, but it's really cool. They're a very innovative company, and they typically have been doing black and white film stocks. And so this was their first color film. And there's a really interesting video on that. I'll throw it in the link down below, done by Grainy Days, I think. And that one caught my eye, and it got me to thinking I should try out some of their stocks. Unfortunately, the first time I shot with some of their black and white film, I totally ruined the roll that I was shooting with, but c'est la vie with film, it is what it is. But I did get to shoot with the Phoenix 200, and it's been a really interesting kind of stock to shoot with. I bought it because I really want things that have more of a red or an orange or a yellow hue. I love Kodak Gold, so I kind of wanted something that was influenced in that direction, and so I wanted something I could print and throw on my walls, because I really like orange, yellow coloring and just that warmth to the shots. To be honest, I shot this film under very horrible conditions in terms of, I guess, really interesting subject, but the lighting condition was really harsh, direct sunlight. I don't really think that that's what this film was exactly targeted to do, but I did it anyways, just because I thought it'd be kind of a cool outcome. And I thought I like some of the things that I shot, but also some of them are a little bit, just the way the colors turned out, it's a little bit much. And so I'd really like to get another roll of this and shoot it in some softer light. And so I decided to shoot some of the luchadors at the Mexifest in Calgary, and I thought that would be a really cool subject because there's lots of colors around, and I actually like the way a lot of these ones turned out. So I'm kind of taking a look through the portfolio. The colors are very dramatic. The colors are very orange, very red, and very contrasty. And contrast, I think, defines this film stock anyways. I really like it. I think that there's some really interesting things about it. I think it really makes some of those colors really jump out, especially against dark buildings. And the luchadors were super entertaining to watch anyways. And so, it was an interesting subject. I think I only actually nailed the exposure on a few of these. Again, I'm just shooting with the Pentax K-1000, and so I don't know, again, even too much about this camera. I'm just shooting with it and practicing with it and trying to get a handle on what I'm doing with it. But it was mostly easy to shoot with this one. I think I got focus most of the time, but I think just nailing exposure was actually a little bit more challenging than I expected. I think especially if you're shooting in direct light and with those harsh shadows and everything, it really amplified how contrasty the film was. So I know it has a pretty sharp element of contrast anyways, but I think I really amplified that by what I was shooting. Very entertaining though. I really think it adds a lot of character to your shots, and in a lot of ways this is why I wanted to shoot on film anyways. Sometimes I don't really care that much about how perfect it is technically, because I'm not that kind of photographer. I just like the way that the film sets a certain mood and a certain look, and I thought this one was interesting. The only things that I found a little bit tricky about it, obviously being high contrast, is that I couldn't get any of the people's faces really that in focus, but it worked out really well because they were all very muscly human beings, and so I got that contrast to kind of fill out what they looked like, and it really amplified, I think, some of the action shots, made them look a little bit more dramatic. So yeah, got some really cool looking shots in that way. Now I think that if I were to shoot with this at sunset or during golden hour, I think that I could get some, maybe even just after golden hour when you don't have that much direct sunlight, I think you could get some really cool shots in terms of just that a softer look to it too. It's fun to do photography wrong, and so even doing it under these conditions, I really did like the way a lot of them turned out, and I'm gonna for sure print a few of these anyhow. I think the qualities of the film that really stood out to me were just the texture in it. So especially on the skin tones in that direct sunlight, you had that grainy kind of rough look on the skin, and again, depends on what subject you're using. It could be really great, it could be probably really detrimental too, but I like the way that the grain looked in this particular context. It's got that high punchy contrast, so I guess if you're taking portraits or something like that, you just want to be careful about what your lighting's like, because I think you could really, the shadows would just probably end up covering the face, and you wouldn't be able to bring those back because, you know, I don't try to do that much editing with the film once it's been developed. So I think you just have to be really diligent about how you're managing your light. And if you're exposing someone's face or something like that, I'd say like you really got to nail the exposure on somebody's face. And I didn't do that very well. The warmth of it is really what makes it. And I kind of hope that they stay with this a little bit, because I really like Kodak Gold. I like things that are those yellows, those warms. I think that it's just a nice stylistic thing. If you're shooting with film and you're printing it off and you're putting it on your wall, it makes for great art because it's got a little bit more of that warm tone. I guess if you're shooting portraits and stuff, there's Portra and all of the other products that Kodak makes as well. So I don't know if they're going to lean into this and do a few more of these types of film. I hope that they make some more color film, because they made something really interesting with this. Is it the perfect film? No. But is it interesting? Yes. And I think that's all that really matters. And I think it's really cool that companies are out there innovating with film still. And I think that there's hopefully a growing market for it too. I think that it's something I want to focus a little bit more on and just learn a little bit more about. And so, you know, it's exciting to see these companies innovating and doing some great things with their products. So I'll definitely be buying a few more, not just to support them, but also just to try it out and test it out. Anyways, I hope this video kind of piqued your interest on this particular film stock. I'd say give it a try. Try it out under a few different conditions and see what you think of it. It's not very expensive, so that's kind of awesome. And so I'm gonna grab a few more rolls of it, burn through it, and maybe grab some prints to hang on the wall here too. So hope this video was useful to you. We'll catch you in the next one.